What's up gamers, Lecture here with another Torchlight Infinite build guide video. This is the second part of my Icy Ring Thea build, going over the advanced version with a medium to high budget. If you're just starting this character, be sure to watch my starter guide first. That video will get you started clearing Time Mark 7 quickly with a low budget. This advanced video will show you all the tier 1 crafted mods and corroded legendaries to obtain to easily clear all Time Mark 8 content. The final form of this build is completed with Surging Inspiration. The map clearing speed is already fast without it, but Surging Inspiration allows us to nuke all of our enemies before they're even on screen. I recommend saving up for this legendary helm as your first big purchase, even over more expensive chase legendaries like Jumbo Ice and Exquisite Box. Let's go even further beyond with this blazing fast mapping build. The hero traits do not change from the starter version of the build. Final Prophecy gives us 25% additional damage. Predicted Harvest doubles our chance to deal double damage, which means we'll only need a base of 50% chance to deal double damage. Predicted Reincarnation will automatically use our hero ability, so we don't have to worry about manually casting it. Predicted Sacrifice regains our Tenacity and Agility blessings. In order to optimize this, we want a blessing ratio of 2 Focus, 1 Tenacity, and 1 Agility. Farewell Prophecy will give our double damage a chance to be upgraded to quadruple damage. We're aiming for 10 Focus Blessings for an 80% chance to deal quadruple damage. The talent trees are still Goddess of Knowledge, Arcanist, and Warlock. The first major nodes are Beacon for additional skill damage, and Insight for spell damage. I switched this to Burning Touch because I already have Insight on my Infinity Belt. You can start the tree with spell damage if you still need it, but eventually you might want to switch to Energy Shield for survivability. This is a mana stacking build, so of course we always grab the mana when we can. Critical Strike rating is something we start to stack in the advanced version of the build. Intelligence is also something we can consider stacking in the final phases of the build. The extra Focus Blessing stack is required, and you can always come back for the spell skill level later. You eventually need to get some sealed mana reduction to fit in all your passive skills. The Arcanist major nodes are Frostbitten for cold penetration. And Mind Focus is the core of our mana stacking build. 10 Focus Blessings return 20% of our maximum mana to flat cold damage. If we have 8k mana, this equates to 1600 added cold damage. We lose the chance to deal double damage from Focus Blessings, but we'll regain it from gear instead. In the tree, we're still prioritizing mana. Cast speed can be picked up later for more DPS. We're still stacking Critical Strike, mana. Don't forget the extra Focus Blessing. We get extra Energy Shield from mana. This upgrades the 0.5 mana we get from Intelligence to 0.7. You'll need the extra mana regeneration at the bottom. And finally, cold damage and penetration. The Warlock tree is used primarily for the cooldown reduction, which works with Thea's hero ability as well as mobility skills. Merciless double dips on sources that give both attack and cast speed, like some talent tree nodes and Thunder Spirit. Off the Beaten Track increases the damage of our skills, as well as reducing the mana reserved from precise seal conversion. Once again, I decided to go for max Energy Shield instead of damage. Attack and cast speed both double dip with Merciless cooldown reduction. More mana. Critical Strike. We're going to need this 2% chance to deal double damage, keep note of this for later. More cooldown recovery speed, as well as maximum energy charges for our mobility skills. Maximum mana. And +2 all skill levels. You can also grab the 15% elemental resistance if you haven't already capped. For the skill setup, we have Icy Ring as the main damage dealer. I have +10 skill levels for Icy Ring. Levels 21 to 31 give you the biggest increases in damage. Going past level 31 is not worth it. I could buy a level 21 Icy Ring, but the current prices of 800 FE are not worth it for me. Hi Fudge. Hi. Frigid transmission can also be spammed for more damage, but the advanced version of the build drops a link in favor for more aura stacking. The new aura setup would give more damage to Icy Ring as well as better survivability. Biting Cold is our one curse linked to Terrain of Malice to remove the cast time and turn it into our aura. Soul Eating Circle will also be cast at the same time for another buff. The starter version used Fixate as an easy way to get double damage, but now we're going to switch to getting double damage from gear instead. Previously in the starter version we used Spiral Strike as an easy way to get mobility early on. Blink is a much faster setup, but requires more investment with enough cooldown reduction and flicker on an infinity belt. Keep in mind that we no longer have the Harden buff without Spiral Strike, so make sure your resistances are capped and you have enough energy shield. The advanced aura setup uses Precise Seal Conversion, which only has a 105% mana cost multiplier with Off the Beaten Track from the Warlock tree. With all the mana cost reduction nodes in the talent tree, we're able to fit in Selfishness for more aura effect. This support skill needs to be bought off the market. Frigid Domain and Elemental Amplification are multipliers for our damage, and Elemental Resistance will help us reduce the amount needed on gear. Precise Death Pact is only needed for Mana Boiler now. Buy a Restraint off the market to fit in the rest of your passive skills. We're not doing any erosion damage, but erosion enhancement has additional damage to life that still works as a damage multiplier for us. This is what the gear looks like with endgame crafting and mid-budget legendaries. The DPS on the sheet only shows 1.6 mil DPS, but remember that this does not include Focus Blessing stacks, and in turn the added cold damage from mana stacking. You should aim for at least 6k energy shield if you're tanky in T8, as well as 8k mana. Now that we've switched to a blink setup, we no longer need daggers for Spiral Strike. This means that we can use a wand with 36% chance to deal double damage. Combine that with 12% on a necklace and 2% from the talent tree, and you have your 50% base chance. Thea's hero trait would double this base to guarantee we always do double damage with Icy Ring. You don't need double damage on the second wand, so you can get skill area for easier mapping or cast speed for more DPS. Intelligence is also an option here, but it can be hard to stack both mana and int everywhere on gear. With the amount of flat cold damage we already have, crit strike and damage may be better to scale your DPS further. Hi Fudge. You'll want to get an End of Confusion with 2 focus and 1 tenacity. Restless Glacier is best with additional cold damage awakened. You need Flicker if you really want to move through maps as quickly as possible. Insight is a good bonus, allowing me to switch my talent tree node. Cooldown recovery is nice to have on boots, but make sure you get the additional agility blessing stack to bring your total to 5. The necklace is a good place to get energy shield regain for much needed sustain. You can also get +1 cold skill level, but make sure you get that 12% chance to deal double damage. You'll want to get a touch of the Dark Surge with 2 maximum focus blessing stacks. This will bring our focus blessing stacks to 10, our agility stacks are at 5 with the boots, and our tenacity stacks are at 5 with the End of Confusion ring. This puts us at the optimal 2-1-1 ratio. All these pieces equipped here cost about 300 to 500 FE a piece. Don't forget to check my starter guide if you need examples of low budget gear. Now let's talk about the most expensive chase legendaries. I actually had a Jumbo Ice drop for me. Check my YouTube for a video of it if you'd like to see. Now I tried the Jumbo Ice out with this setup, and frankly I wasn't impressed. I didn't really see a difference in DPS, especially not enough to warrant a 2 to 3k FE price tag. So I decided to sell it to buy the optimal corroded legendary pieces here, as well as a surging inspiration. I got way more value this way. Jumbo Ice just isn't worth it unless you have everything else you need already. Surging Inspiration should be the first chase legendary that you buy that's above 1k FE. I got this one for 1200. This item is currently bugged right now. Instead of casting your core spell skill 2 additional times, it's casting it once for every enemy on the screen. It's pretty crazy overpowered in high density, but even if it was fixed I would still be using it for mapping. I should probably mention Exquisite Box. It's an even more pricey item, but it seems to be for auto bombers that want a lazier playstyle. I'm not the biggest fan of it because I don't mind playing spammy builds. So you can spend more money on an Exquisite Box and Jumbo Ices, but the cost doesn't really justify it for me. So this is pretty much my final build. I suppose I have to show the obligatory training dummy. Unfortunately the fix to uncap the training dummy was removed, and I can't show you, more than a 100 mil DPS anymore. But I have found it to be around 500 mil to 600 mil DPS with my current setup. For Pact Spirits, I'm mainly focusing on drop pets with Eternal Summoner and Happy Chonky. Spiny Snare is just used here to help cap my elemental resistances. Thanks for watching my final Icy Ring Thea build guide video. It's time for me to move on to another character. Let me know what build you would be interested in seeing in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to see more Torchlight Infinite content. Peace out and happy slaying.